Welcome again to the Skill Work Forum. I'm Tim, as always, joined with my partner, Brett, here from Skill Work. And we're going to jump into part 2 of a 2-part series that we started last podcast. And we were delving into a couple of white papers, surveys that were looking at depth into the topic of the fourth industrial revolution in manufacturing. Just to quickly recap, those 2 papers that came out, really surveys, one by Rockwell Automation, had surveyed over 1,300 global respondents, really trying to get a state of this whole smart manufacturing fourth IR. A second paper that came out right on its heels from a company called L2L was focused more on leaders, senior leaders from manufacturing industries. Their paper called The State of Digital Transformation in Manufacturing. So both these papers provided a lot of salient data, a lot of statistics and trending information, and Brett and I started trying to look at those and maybe bringing you what we thought were the highlights and the most important points. So last time we looked at some of those trends in the fourth industrial revolution. Today, as we look at part 2, it's going to be, okay, nothing is a panacea. Nothing is always perfect. So what are some of the downsides to this? What are some of the headwinds that people are facing? And then also, how do you go about? Maybe you're out there going like, I've heard about this. We're kind of dipped our toe into it. What is a right approach to actually embracing this fourth industrial revolution? And Rockwell gives some really good steps, and we're just going to highlight those today in the paper. So what are some of the downsides? You mean not everything's perfect in the world of the fourth IR?
One of the major downsides, to all of this technology is an overload of data. The term gets tossed around, big data. And so actually my oldest son, Chase, has his PhD in information sciences. And so he has dedicated his career to studying big data and kind of what he goes at it. I wanted him to go into more kind of how do we use it in manufacturing. He went more down the path of how it impacts us from a society. So, when people are questioning Facebook and all those guys, that's kind of what he does. But the point is, all of this data, we get all of this data, we all see it. We kind of do it now. You could, sometimes it's even in my emails, I have too many emails, there's too much data. So, but they say nearly a third of all the data collected is not used at all. And so, and that in these studies, they showed that there was kind of an increasing number of companies, like 40% year over year had kind of felt like they lacked the ability to use the data in a meaningful way. So like, you're getting all of this information, but if you can't utilize it to predict and to improve supply, and so a lot of this has led to what Rockwell coined the term, technology paralysis. So companies become overwhelmed with the data, and so they just don't know what to do with it, which can also lead to sometimes when you don't know what to do with it, you don't do anything.
Yeah, it's like, I got 350 cable channels or whatever, and you start looking, you just become overwhelmed by it. And I mean, that's a small example. Go to Amazon, go to anything today. You can get quickly overwhelmed with information.
Yep. There's a reason why when I think In-N-Out Burger has 3 things on their menu, and it's the most popular burger chain in America,
and the best hamburger on the planet. I'm an In-N-Out guy.
Yeah. So they say 40% more manufacturers in addition say they lack the ability to use the data to make decisions to outpace their competition. We talked about it in the last podcast, Tim. One of the things that is driving, which is a good thing, but one of the things that is driving this automation is the fear of what their competition is doing. And so they're looking and saying, do we have the skilled workers that we need? Do we know how to use the data? What are they doing? Kind of a thing. And so, one of the articles kind that we looked at for this as well. Whitley was the director of L2L Smart Manufacturing, which was one of the articles. And I'm just going to read his quote. It said, "It's common for people to invest time and money into technologies without understanding that digital transformation is as much or more about business process improvements than it is about implementing new tools. Without the right strategy, they get stuck." So, kind of said in maybe a couple less words is, you can buy all this, fancy technology, you can do all these things, but if you don't have a plan, because you understanding the point of it is it's part of your business. And if you haven't figured out a way to integrate it into your business and to use it, it's just a fancy tool without a lot of purpose.
Yeah. So, I mean, a big part of it is having a technology roadmap or a smart manufacturing strategy, call it whatever you want. But to go into this and you mentioned earlier, this fear of missing out, FOMO, it drives a lot of people on social media, are constantly on social media because they're afraid they're going to miss something. And I think that's driving a lot of decisions because you see your competitors out there, fear of competitors moving forward. So you just go get it and say, we need some of those things, some of those shiny objects in our plant without really thinking about the end-to-end implications. So how do you get started in doing this the right way? What steps do you take? Well, again, I'm going to shout out to one of the papers we looked at. I'll give credit where credit is due. And Rockwell has kind of this 5-step process that they've laid out in the paper that we would refer you to look at, but at a high level. And again, these steps could be used for any change management process, really. They're not recreating the wheel here, but it's worth delving into. The first thing you want to do is take a look at who are your key stakeholders in your company, end to end. Who are the people that are actually going to be benefiting from customers all the way to frontline production workers? Get perspectives from different people, clarify what they really need. So get the requirements up front. What are the information gaps? What are the challenges you're actually trying to overcome? I mean, are you trying to solve a problem or are you trying to buy something that's cool? So number one, identify the problem. Who are the stakeholders? Get information. Get their greatest need up front, establish that. So get your requirements. Step two, what's the business case? So this, for those that worry about the bottom line, this should be a no-brainer. But oftentimes you just kind of, the tidal wave of moving towards something, step back and think about, once you get the requirements of what you really need and establish it's something that can help us solve, what's the business case for doing it? What ROI are we expected to get out of this change that we're doing? I mean, you should be able to enforce that to solution or resolution on, if we're going to invest this as capital investment, what's the ROI from it? So build a business case. The third thing you do is research, do your homework on the process that you're going to implement, on the solution. Don't necessarily just take the first recommendation from your data provider or your solutions integrator. Take a look at what's out there. Look at a variety of different solutions. Select the best one for your particular requirement and business objectives. And will it be able to support you not now, but in the future? The fourth step then is design and deploy the solution. So design and deploy, and this is where a virtual reality and the using technology before you put technology in place can actually help you. You can see a lot of systems improvements in technology in a virtual simulation before you ever actually put it on the floor. I would strongly recommend doing that, investing in that before you put it in place to assess whether it's really going to deliver what you think it is, and then get a partner that can help you implement it and put it in place. And finally, manage the change. Change management is more about a sociological and psychological than it is process. You got to get people on board with how you are going to change. It's a big change, a lot of change, and get people on board. Who are the stakeholders? Who is the champion? Get people from across the organization that have bought into what you're trying to do. So those are the 5 steps. Stakeholders, get your business case, research your solutions, design and deploy the solutions with a partner, and then manage the change. measure the results, and then drive adoption throughout. So those are the steps that we recommend.
Yep. Well, as we kind of look at this, the bottom line, to all of these studies is that the fourth industrials, 4IR, fourth industrial revolution, whatever term we want to use, it's here and it's moving fast. Manufacturers view technology now as a significant competitive advantage in reality for improving quality, agility, innovation, mitigating risk, as we've talked about, and really importantly, attracting the next generation of talent. So when we talk about how are you going to use technology to improve or help with the shortage of the workforce, part of this, one of the big things is that as these facilities become more technically advanced, they're more attractive to the Gen Zs and the millennials, to come into that. They're not very excited if they go walk into a plant and in a manufacturing plant and it's pretty old and very labor intense and kind of, dusty, dirty, noisy, all those kinds of things. It's not as attractive to them. But as this technology, I think this is one of the big things as when we talked to Jake at AIM last time, he's a younger guy, younger than us. And so he talked about that he never even knew what was inside of a manufacturing plant. And now it's really cool and really exciting. So to be able to attract that, the other thing, Tim, that this technology and the 4IR, is driving, and it's not just happening here in the U.S., but if the U.S. adopts it, it's no big secret that we as a manufacturing powerhouse, we've been in a little bit of a decline over the last, multiple years. And a lot of people feel like this technology, this automation, again, whoever embraces and whoever goes, that it really becomes a bit of an economic powerhouse that the U.S. has the potential to really take back kind of the top of the rung, if we're not already the top of the rung, but definitely, further advance ourselves through further technology and automation, more attractive to the workforce, improve our economic. And that's a lot of what's going to drive when we talk about, well, how's technology going to create more jobs? Well, because it's going to increase our manufacturing output and potentially even bring more manufacturing back, here to the States.
So in other words, make America great again.
There you go.
That's got a nice ring. Just kidding. Send all your email to Brett@skillwork.com. So, the bottom line to all this is companies are leading the way. They're leveraging this, the promised capability, and they're getting a competitive advantage. However, we want to caution you, if you don't have a clear strategy on how you're going to do it, how you're going to use the data, you'll get bogged down in technology paralysis. So like anything else, a measured approach, go as fast as you can, but no faster. Make sure you have a great partner to help walk you through it. And particularly speaking of great partners, as you bring technology on, you're going to need help with your advanced skilled workforce. That's where we come into play. We'd love to partner with you on that. If you have any questions about how we can help you implement this, reach out to us. We have a couple of great partners that we work closely with that do this all day, every day, as far as the technology. We do the staffing part, make sure you have the right people there to augment your current staff. Reach out to us at skillwork.com and go to our website. We'll be happy to do that and point you to somebody that can help you move forward in this fourth industrial revolution. So, question you have to ask yourself, are you fully embracing it? If not, why not? And then maybe take a look at the business case and start implementing some of these to stay ahead of the tidal wave that's already here. So appreciate your time. As always, take a listen to what we have to say here on the Skillwork Forum. We ask you to continue to advance some of these technologies in the skill trades, particularly upskilling your skilled trades people, investing in their advancement, something near and dear to our heart. We think that these people that repair, build, troubleshoot, install the engine that keeps America running, are so important to our future. So shout out to all our great skilled tradesmen out there. Until next time, we appreciate you listening to the Skill Work Forum. Have a great day.